Hi everyone, and welcome to Entertainment Life. Today I'm talking about Of Mice and Men. This, of course, is a play based off of the classic book by John Steinbeck about these two guys, George and Lenny, who are best friends and polar opposites, and they get a job at a ranch. And while at the ranch, they get into a situation that pretty much blows up into the worst thing that had ever happened to the two of them. And they had gone through quite a bit of problems before that, so it gets very bad. Very bad. In fact, it gets to this amazingly tragic ending that is really the reason to see this play or even to read the book. Act 1, though, was the most boring thing I ever had to sit through because all they did was talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. I'm like, why the hell am I here? If I wanted to watch people talk, I would have stayed home and watched my parents talk. I don't want to watch people talk. That's not why I go to a theater. And it reminded me how much I hated the book while I read it. Because a lot of it was just very, very boring. Nothing ever happened. And then at the end of Act 1 there was a fight, and I'm like, okay, now we're getting somewhere. And then we had intermission. I'm like, we're just getting somewhere. Come on, let's move it. Let's get going here. Act 2 was really where all the gold was, because that's where everything happened. It was the climactic ending was our Act 2. And I was a little surprised by that. I thought there should have been more of like a middle section so everything was more even. But what I got was most of the book was in Act 1 and then just the ending was in Act 2. I'm like, wait, what? Like, this shouldn't be happening yet. Why is all this happening already? It's like you're speeding through it way too fast and now it's going to be over. It's coming. The ending is coming. And for those of you who don't know the tragic ending, I was a little worried because, I wasn't sure how well they were going to execute it. It's a very difficult scene to execute, and they actually did an amazing job. I mean, they didn't execute it quite the way it was written in the book, which kind of ticked me off a little bit because the book is very specific on how it should be done. And if the book is scientifically accurate on this, then the way that the play did it wouldn't work the same way. But no, it was still, that one really wasn't on my mind all that much because it was beautiful. And I think what made it beautiful was that James Franco really brought humanity to the character of George. And it was a layer of humanity that, to be honest, I didn't see in the book. Like, during the book, I felt like George was always cranky and yelling, and I'm like, oh, you're always on top of him all the time, and why do you have to be this way to Lenny? I don't understand. And then the thing happens, and he's just like, I'm like, oh, why? But when this, I was like, oh my God. Really, this was what you had to do? And it kind of took me back, because they almost had me in a false sense of security where I thought that everything was going to be okay when he was telling Lenny that everything was going to be okay. And I'm like, oh my God. But then he stepped back and he did what he had to do, and I was like, not everything's going to be okay. He said everything was going to be okay, and now it's not. That was what made the ending so beautiful, I have to be honest. And the characters and the actors playing them really, really helped. James Franco did a great job as George. Sure, he's not the best George in the world, but he gave a humanity to the character I hadn't seen before, and he did a really nice job at playing the kind of angry, straight guy who also had a heart of gold deep down. And was kind of stuck in a corner and wasn't sure what to do, so he had to do what he felt was best for his best friends. And, there was Chris O'Dowd. Oh my God, the greatest Lenny ever. I don't think they could have gotten anybody else to play this guy. he was stupid. He was innocent. He played the whole big guy act. I was like, oh my god. And then there was even this point where you saw a breaking hostility point. He was a sweet guy with a breaking hostility point. And I was like, oh my god. Like, I forgot that he was some Irish guy. And I saw him as a stupid, big American dope. And that's really who Lenny is. Nobody else could have played this part, I think. And I like that he and James Franco just took me out of this play and just put it, like, out in a real world. This was their real world. And there's one character I was really disappointed in, and I feel like I've been disappointed in her in other times too. Like, when I saw the movie, I was disappointed in the way they portrayed her there, because I don't think that directors are portraying her correctly. You know, she is Crow's wife, and they keep saying she's a big flirt, she's a big tot, she does this, she does that. I didn't really see a whole lot of that. They came out with that character as being more innocent, I felt, and it didn't really play off as her being flirty but trying to pretend not to be, and it just came off as her being some innocent girl. And especially in her scene with Lenny, it was great. It played off very nicely, but I felt like it could have been much stronger than it was. And it's because of her. She wasn't pushing enough, and he was pushing back, but he was pushing back on something that wasn't pushing enough. So I was a little disappointed in that. Now I want to talk about Curly. Curly was great. He really had the whole tough guy, I'm bigger than you, I'm going to start a fight angle going when he went up against bigger guys. Now, in the book, they kept talking about him being a small guy, so I really didn't understand why they got some guy who was that tall, because he seemed like an average-sized guy. I was expecting like a midget coming out. Oh, I'm sorry, not midget, because that's offensive. Little person. I expected a little person coming out and trying to beat up on Lenny. I mean, sure, Lenny was bigger than this guy, but I always expected Curly to be a little person, not to be a regular-sized guy. And, I mean, the character still came off very well. He was still very tough and still going out to picking fights, which was great. I'm like, yeah, you're a dick, we hate you, somebody needs to punch you in the face, someone needs to do, like, all these things to you. You deserve a slutty wife who sleeps around and flirts with other people. Fine. You know, that was all there. That was all wonderful. And, you know, just all those characters and actors coming together really helped snowball everything and just bring up to the pivotal end when the very tragic thing happened. And like I said, part of me was very surprised and very shocked by how it was executed, because I was hoping that it wasn't going to happen, even though I knew it was. And that's really what it makes this play work, and really why you're going to see it. You're going to see it for Act 2 right up until the end, and it will make you scared, and it will make you cry, and it will make you want things to be different and want a different solution to come out. And then it won't. Because life just is unfair that way. And that's really what this whole play is about. It's about life being very unfair. Oh, and of course, this isn't something for kids, so don't bring your kids to it. It's a very serious play. It has cursing in it, and it has violence in it, and it's something that is for adults to appreciate and kind of understand why life is unfair. And that's really all I have to say. Bye, everyone.